Hello, and welcome to this week's review. My name is Dr. Brian McClelland, author of Marketing Dentistry Kaizen Style, Small Steps to Big Profits, available at www.dental-marketing.org and at amazon.com. This week I'll be reviewing an article with the title of The Effect of Platform Switching Technique on the Preservation of Peri-Implant Marginal Bone, a Systematic Review. This article can be found in the International Journal of Oral and Maxillofacial Implants in the January-February 2012 edition, pages 138 to 144. Marginal bone loss seems to be an unavoidable consequence after the implant placement, yet may be minimized by platform switching. By definition, the success or a successful implant loses an average of 1.5 millimeters of bone in the first year of function and 0.2 millimeters of bone annually in subsequent years. The microgap at the junction of an implant platform and the abutment has been suggested as a contributor. In vitro studies have confirmed that microbiological leakage or microbial leakage occurs through the microgap and is dependent upon the type of connection, gap size, and the amount of micromovement. I find it very interesting that the concept of platform switching was discovered by accident with the mismatch of parts and components by Lazara. The exact reason for the preservation of bone is not fully understood and still somewhat controversial. In this study, a PubMed and Medline search was done in the English language for anything published prior to June 30th of 2010 to answer this question: does platform switching preserve peri-implant marginal bone? To be included, studies had to be a randomized clinical trials or prospective human clinical trials with the clear aim of comparing marginal bone loss between platform switching and conventionally restored implants, along with a minimal sample size of 10 subjects and 10 implants in function for at least 1 year. So the results of this study were as follows. The initial search revealed 1,831 articles, 9 of which were used for this study. This article targeted randomized clinical trials and prospective clinical studies to look at the effectiveness of platform switching implants to preserve marginal bone judged by radiographs, periapicals, after at least 1 year of loading. Because of the great variety in studies, it was not possible to perform a meta-analysis. Of the 9 articles chosen, 7 concluded that platform switching was beneficial. The other 2 found no difference. Periapical radiographs were used to judge this bone loss, and the limitation of these radiographs requires that a difference of 0.5 millimeters in marginal bone in order to be statistically significant. Implant design, specifically microthreads, was not controlled or accounted for and may have also altered bone levels independent of platform switching. As well, the depth of the implant placement also affects marginal bone levels, and this was not accounted for either. The degree of platform switching did seem to have an effect on bone loss. With the greater the platform switch, the greater the bone preservation. In the study, the longest follow-up period of 5 years, the difference in bone loss that was seen initially at 1 year was lost 5 years later, essentially showing the equivalent amount of bone loss in both the platform switched implants and the conventional implants at the 5-year point. So in conclusion, bone preservation might be enhanced by platform switching, which requires more research to validate its application. Thank you for tuning in this week. My name is Dr. Brian McClelland at www.dental-marketing.org. You can also email me at info@dental-marketing.org. Also, feel free to visit the educational forum at www.dental-marketing.org for many different presentations, including dental implant terminology, abutment selection in dental implants, Kaizen, as well as a bisphosphonate-related osteonecrosis of the jaws update. Thank you.